And we're silent.
Oh, I'm sorry, Don. I was distracted by this picture of Snooki Perazzo that I was watching.
Oh, God. We're back at Snooki.
Twitter. Snooki Perazzo.
Snooki's back.
Snooki's back in black. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 7 p.m. on a Friday evening, and that must mean it's time for another edition of the Squared Circle Maniacs Wrestling Podcast. We are the Squared Circle Maniacs. We represent the Squared Circle Maniacs chapter on Twitter. We are a group of like-minded individuals that love professional wrestling, be it in all eras, all decades, all centuries, all iterations, if you will. Well, TNA, but, and a big but is had. We are going to bring you some news today. We're going to bring you news from around the world, off the interwebs. To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, who's been fighting nonstop today with the neckbeards.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's insane.
Insane.
We're gonna.
Guy told me, he said CM Punk leaving was not a big deal, and I've got it right here. He said, yeah, bro, everyone's bailing. Check this out. We signed Jay White, Will Ospreay, Shibata, and Ibushi. We're winning this war. That's what he said. That'll put ass in the seats, pal.
Those four people that they've signed they've done nothing with except for Jay White. Because Jay White can actually... Ibushi got hurt. Hurt his ankle.
Yeah.
Riding a bike. That's what I said. That's what I heard. He hurt himself riding a bike.
Absurd. It's absurd.
They've signed these people, and then they trot them out for one episode or two episodes of Dynamite or Collision, and they put them away back in the display case until they're ready to take the action figure out again.
Ibushi is a big signing. Good God, man. Get a grip.
Ibushi. Kota Ibushi. I had some Kota Ibushi the other day at the Blue Moon Cafe with some wasabi and some eel sauce. It was fantastic. Magnifique.
I have no words. Look, you can like your wrestlers, but don't tell me that they're major signings. Don't. Just stop.
We have Iman Perry is back again. Iman, am I saying that correctly? Iman or Eman? Probably Iman. Iman Perry.
I'm guessing Iman.
Either way, pal, it's good to have you here. It's good to have you.
Thank you all for joining. Like and subscribe before we kick off this show. It's Friday night. We got SmackDown tonight. I'm excited. Got Roman Reigns, they say, is going to be on the show.
Sure.
The U.S. champion is going to be on the show.
Absolutely. And
there it is.
Butch had to...
Eamon. Well, thank you, Eamon.
Very good.
Pronounce it correctly.
We got you now, Eamon. We got you down.
I think we're both excited to hear Roman Reigns respond, right? Like, we got to see that.
Him and Heyman have to respond to The Rock. They have to. They have to do the due diligence to set this thing up, do the legwork. But the question from me to you, Don, is The Rock's a busy man in Hollywood with the XFL. That's getting ready to gear up.
That is getting ready to gear up, yeah.
Season. Yes. Football ends and the XFL begins. What's going on, Lloyd? How are you? Lloyd Nicolette?
Yeah. I'm excited about where this is going. You and I both believe it's going to be in Australia between The Rock and Roman Reigns, not for a title, but for the head of the table. And I feel like The Rock is going to do the favors because he's going to try to get his guy over. It's family. Get him over.
Well, Don, let me say this. How much of The Rock do you think we'll see in the build-up to this feud?
Man.
Will Roman Reigns be a one-man build-up for this angle?
I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we get at least, because we said it was 45 days, right? Roughly counting, because it's the end of the month.
February 24th, yes.
We've got, what the hell, 4 days, almost four, about 6 weeks, right? Between now and then.
Roughly, yes. Yeah.
I would hope we would at least see him half of those weeks. That would be my hope. Because look, this is one thing that I'm starting to really, I wasn't sure how I would feel about it when it first started happening with Brock Lesnar, right? But the big stars, it's that old wrestling adage. How can I miss you if you don't go away? If you're not giving me Punk every time on Monday night, it becomes special. When you're not giving me The Rock every night on Monday night, it becomes special. I almost wish, and I know she's still young, I almost wish Rhea Ripley was that way, but she's still very young and still very much building her legacy. So I get that.
She doesn't wrestle all the time, though.
No, but she's on every Monday night.
She's on every Monday night.
That's my point. It's not that, it's not that don't wrestle. It's just, she's an attraction, right? Like that's where we are. I want to see the attraction. They have so many stars right now. I don't need to see them every night. Cody Rhodes. I really wish they wouldn't put him on every Monday night. Give me a little teaser. Intertwine those storylines. Bring one in, the other one goes away. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's
They're
just
doing a good job, though. I think they do a good job down of rotating people in and out.
They are right now, but there's some people still that it feels like, I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see less of them on camera. I'd like to see less so that when they come back, it means more. That's just me.
Yes. I could do, while Gunther, while he's off, I could do with seeing less of the two Imperium guys.
I think everybody could. And you know that's going to blow up here soon. That has to blow up. Alex says AEW feels like 98 WCW. That is the title of the show. You know, I guess we should get into that first. What do you think?
We should get into that first. And what you just saw on our screen by one of the comments from our chat room here, it's a common thread that's going through Twitter. It's going through other message boards. It's going through comments to articles on the internet. People are getting a little tired of, they want AEW to be good. They want AEW to prosper. They want to be able to enjoy AEW. They like most of the workers in AEW. Like myself, I like maybe a third of what goes on in AEW. I don't like them all.
I'm like maybe a quarter. Fair assessment.
Yeah, fair assessment. But there's no storylines whatsoever. What they do in their on-screen episode-to-episode continuity is the shits. It's terrible. Everyone's saying now that MJF is working an angle of not being on the website in the roster page. His contract isn't up. He re-signed. His contract's up. He didn't re-sign.
I think he has. I still maintain he has. I still maintain.
It all boils down to, where's the storyline for that?
You'll see it. It's going to be a storyline.
It was never said. It was never mentioned. Okay. It was never mentioned before he left. The months leading up to this Devil reveal, the last 3 months, never mentioned that his contract's going to be up soon. Will he re-sign? Will he do this?
He did mention it. That's what I'm trying to say.
He mentioned it, but the announcers didn't mention anything. No one else on screen mentioned anything. He didn't get into it with another performer about his contract signing. Samoa Joe wanted to face him so bad at World's End to pick up that belt.
Oddly enough,
it makes no sense.
The MJF CM Punk storyline was probably the best thing they've had in that company, in my opinion. It was great. I thought it was a great storyline. I enjoyed everything about it.
Right. So, I did enjoy it also.
So I want to start off because this is something that just it hit me that really, this is one of the issues that I see with AEW that's killing everything about this company. There's too many damn titles. There's just too many. It's insane, and they just introduced another one. How many champions can you have before? But believe you me, WWE is just as guilty. I don't like how they have so many champions either. Like, that drives me nuts. The fact that they have 4 tag team title belts drives me insane. There should be one tag team because they just don't have enough in the WWE. Have a great division on 2 shows. Just have it on one.
I can't believe they had a tournament last week for the competitive eating contest champion, Eddie Kingston.
He got that shit hands down. Catering cannot be touched. So that's just me. It's just what. And here's the other part, right? What the hell is Ring of Honor? What is it? Where's the separation of what's going on with that, right? So they've got. Go
ahead. Okay. I'll tell you what I think it is. If you want me to tell you,
you can't have a Ring of Honor world champion and an AEW world champion. It doesn't work.
Ring of Honor is something that that Tony Khan was a fan of. He loved watching Ring of Honor, and he wants to keep that memory alive of Ring of Honor. He wants to keep that promotion going. He bought it to keep it going, but it was worth nothing when he bought it without the TV stations. All the myriad of Sinclair TV stations where they syndicated that show around the country, and there were a lot of stations. It means nothing without TV time. And he's found that out because no one wants it. Warner Brothers Discovery didn't want it. CW didn't. Well, The CW didn't want it. He tried to get it on the CW, and they thought he was going to work a deal with AEW. And he said, no, I want Ring of Honor. And, see you later, is what they told him. He tries to spin it off as he refused the CW. But turns out they refused Ring of Honor.
You have the TBS television champion on your main show, right?
Sure. The TBS television champion should be on the TBS show, not the TNT show.
You have the TNT television champion, correct? Like, am I wrong here yet?
No, keep going.
So what the hell is the Ring of Honor TV championship? What the hell is that? What does it mean?
They're not on TV.
What? That's my point.
He's got high hopes. He's got high hopes.
Okay,
remember that old song?
Yeah, I remember that old song. I do. I got no words for what it is. I have no words. I can't figure out for the life of me what in the actual ass hell those titles mean. The women's I get, the TNT title I get in the men. Why do we have a second one in the Ring of Honor? Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing?
What the actual ass hell? Is there a hell for
It's
asses?
what it is, dude. That's what it is. That belt is the ass hell title of Ring of Honor. That's what it means.
It's garbage is what it is. Ring of Honor is just an internet entity. That's all it is. You have to join Honor Club and pay like, what is it, $20 a month to watch all that crap. And the big attraction there is, feels like 1987 UWF after the NWA bought them. Yeah, exactly. The big attraction for Honor Club is to go back and look at all the old matches where they had stars, where they had Samoa Joe versus CM Punk. Adam Pearce was a star.
How many years ago, though, was that? You see what I'm saying?
20 years ago, Don.
So it means nothing. That's my point. They have all of these titles, and we haven't gotten to the other stupid shit. Okay, I love that they bought the Trios title back, which everybody knows it's a damn
hang on a second.
six,
Let's put a mental bookmark right there. Put a mental bookmark in what you said. This is one of the first mental bookmarks. Everyone who's a fan of AEW says, most of them say what you're saying. There's too many titles. Get rid of Ring of Honor. Separate that from AEW. But if you do that, you would have had, you've got Athena not on TV. You've got this kid, Kyle Fletcher. He wouldn't be on AEW television. You wouldn't have had Samoa Joe.
Why not? No, why not?
Champ.
No, why not? They could still be on TV. They just ain't got to be trouting that trash out there with a non-existent title. That means nothing. Get rid of it. It's doing nothing for the company. I don't care what I see of Ring of Honor TV. And you know what else? Like I was going to say, they brought out the six-man. They now call it the Trios. I was like, all right, that's different. That's a different tag team. I remember that from my childhood when the Legion of Doom with Dusty Rhodes had the six-man tag titles, right? There's two goddamn sets of Trios champions in this company, one in Ring of Honor and one in AEW. It takes away all the uniqueness that they had in AEW with it. There's nothing unique about it. It's like, oh, look, I found a gold bar. Oh, shit, I found another one. All these things are everywhere. It's absurdity. Why do you have so many six-men? Yes,
they're
it's ridiculous.
Prizes. The belts don't get over the talent. The talent get over the belts.
Well, here's my thing on that. It also can be that the belt is supposed to elevate the talent and make them matter, right? So you just mentioned it. There's 3 different women's titles in this company, right? 3 of them, right? Mm-hmm. There's the AEW Women's Champion, the AEW Women's Champion, and then you've got the Ring of Honor Champion that no one ever sees.
No. You got the AEW Women's Champion. You've got the TBS Champion.
Yes.
Yes. And then you've got the Ring of Honor.
Yes. What is different about the Ring of Honor? Because there is a clear pecking order in AEW, right? There's a women's title and the TBS titles below it. Where the hell does the Ring of Honor title fit into all this? What is it?
The Ring of Honor Women's Champion belt is hardly ever defended on AEW television. And the reason being is they want to keep Athena away from the women in AEW because someone complained about Athena being too rough with the girls.
Oh, she's rough.
She is. She's rough.
She's a botch waiting to happen. So I don't want to get on this long rant about the titles. I think I've said enough about it. The other issue I'm having with AEW right now, man, and look,
is what?
There's too many shows. There's way too many shows. That That Friday night show needs to get the hell on somewhere. Go. No one watches that shit.
At the most, 300 to 320. That's it. Nobody's watching.
I mean, I don't get.
Just get rid of it.
Why do they have it? Why?
Because they're being paid for it. They're being paid to produce the hour-long content. Collision, he's being paid for that. He got paid $50 million a year for Collision.
Well, they paid for Collision with the idea that CM Punk was going to be in charge of that show.
Yes.
And I watched that show religiously when he was on there, and I thought it was their best product myself. They had that tag team title with FTR versus White and Lethal that I thought was absolutely amazing. I thought it was amazing.
It wasn't Lethal. It was Juice Robinson.
Sorry, Juice Robinson. Sorry, yes.
Yes.
But you know what I was going. It was amazing. It was the match of the year as far as tag teams went. I thought it was absolutely wall to wall, couldn't turn away from it. I was so happy to have that on TV. It felt like, to me, a Clash of the Champions show at times. Because you had the way that they built that show up when it first started. You had the guys saying, here's the beef that we've got. I'm pissed at you, and here's why. I'm pissed at you, and here's why. We're going to get into this now. Here we go. All right, I got a reason to watch this show now. They kick off AEW like, they started this weekend. They started like WWE. And I really, look, I can't stand the way WWE starts their stuff half the time. I can't. Because it's going to be a talking segment forever. Or they just start the match immediately. Give me a little bit of an open on what I'm going to see tonight. Make it episodic. That's what it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And WWE's as guilty as anybody. They don't do it enough either.
That's true. To start the show off, that's true.
And Sega Genesis nailed it. Bloodline was the best story, but the Collision with Punk was the best show. And that's what we were just saying. It really was. It was the absolute best show. We've already talked about the fact that they got too many promotions, right? It's just, you get rid of Ring of Honor. Put it on the shelf. You have it for when you have something for it. You don't have anything for it now. I'm not going to go breaking into that real hard.
They could just have that be an archival website where people can join, pay monthly to stream all the old matches from Ring of Honor if they so desire. Don't put any new content on there. But if you have to, if you must, don't have any belts. Just have that be your AEW Dark or AEW Evolution, like a YouTube show. Put all the rookie talent on there.
Well, they tried that before. It failed miserably and cost them all kinds of money. That's why they got
on YouTube.
Yeah.
They had 2 shows on YouTube.
And they both sucked and no one watched. So that's my other thing. My other issue with this company, why I think it's struggling so bad and why I'm sort of getting out of it, it keeps happening, Bottles. Everybody gets hurt. Everyone's getting hurt because they're so unsafe in the ring. It's out of control. We got Bryan Danielson now looks like a pirate because somebody broke his orbital bone. He's running around with rum backstage screaming R at people. R, I got punched in the face, matey. I'm going to go wrestle the match now. If he comes out with a parrot next week, so help me God. I'm going to send it. Full send.
He'll come out dressed like Captain Jack Swagger.
Alexander with a great point. Even ECW under the WWE flag for 4 years was better than what Ring of Honor has been. Give me your booty, mate. Or give me one of them 15 titles you have. Arr. And everybody's hurt, man. Like, can we not go a month in this company without somebody breaking something or getting smashed in the face?
The agents, and supposedly this is from an anonymous agent. The anonymous agent has said in interviews that were posted on websites that they try to tell these kids not to do certain things, don't kill themselves in front of 2,000 people for an episode of Rampage, but they do it anyway. They got to get their shit in, as the old indie expression is. I got to get my shit in. I got to get my shit in. Means you got to do all your high spots, even if it's in front of 50 people. They got to do it, and they wind up killing themselves, or they hurt the other guy, like we joked about the other day.
Chris says I'm going to get spined by Bryan Danielson for that comment.
So, they'll find this whole show.
They'll fire us. Maybe they'll put us on Friday nights. We probably get a bigger audience. My God, we're just a little YouTube show. Which, by the way,
Hey.
like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. I'm going to pump this shit now, buddy. Why is everybody always hurt, man? I mean, and here's the other thing, because you brought this up and this sort of reminded me. Didn't they put out a company memorandum that you should stop doing this set of moves, stop bleeding this much, stop working like this? And we're what, 6, 7, 8 months later, they're still doing the same shit? They're still doing it.
Since he met with Warner Brothers Discovery, who stopped bleeding on TV?
Well, that's true.
Everyone's favorite plumber has not bled on television in any of those Continental Classic matches that he's been in. No
Freddie
blood at all.
Roosevelt just informed us that there's actually now 4 women's titles, because now apparently they've given Ring of Honor a TV title. And Larry came
Put
in
some
with
whipped
the
cream
old
on that
Dusty,
turd. Put some whipped
Dusty
cream on
Rhodes
that turd.
quote. The old Dusty Rhodes quote. Don't do shit you don't know how to do. That's the greatest quote
Exactly
ever.
right.
So
And
that's
like Daniel Garcia tried to throw that guy to Scorpion Deathlock the other day.
and here's
and
the
fell off
other
table.
issue. Here's the other issue that they're having.
Go
right
ahead,
now.
pal.
They don't, and I talked to you about it with this guy today, right?
What do you
They're
got?
losing all of their big name talent. They're losing it. It's leaving.
Well, little by little, when the contracts are up, little by little. You've got guys like FTR. And you know why they didn't re-sign with WWE when their contract was up like a year ago? They didn't re-sign with WWE. They didn't go back there because they don't want to work that schedule. Dax Hardwood and what I call him, Hardwood, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler have kids. They got families. They like working once a week.
Or a couple
That's
times
the
a week.
Millions of dollars. And, well, those guys will work a couple times a week, twice a week if you ask them. But it's the perk of just working once a week. Because
Yes.
he'll forget about you. He'll put you on TV for a while, and then he'll forget all about you. You'll sit home for 6 weeks and not even be on television.
Because I stopped watching Saturday nights, I don't know what the hell Miro's even doing anymore. And he was one of the few guys I like to watch him.
He's the star of the show now.
Is he?
Hey, that's the biggest name they've got there.
I'm actually surprised.
On
you're still
Saturday
watching
nights.
this.
Andrade left. He used to be a Collision guy. Andrade
And he was great. He put some really good matches on that show. And I was impressed with him. Because as you know, I'm not the biggest Andrade fan. I'm just
Neither am
not.
I. I hope he fares better in the WWE. We'll see tonight. He might be on SmackDown tonight.
And I got one other issue that I think is really plaguing this company. And you're going
Which
to know
is
what
what?
it is right away. Why are they booking these huge houses when they can't draw more than 4,000 people?
Well, Don, that's changed. Since, what was the guy's name? Stephen Morphy?
We're
What was the
going to
guy's name
see.
who's in charge of live events, the VP in charge of live events? He's
We're gonna
gone
see.
now. And they booked Daly's place, a 2,300-seat arena that they used to frequent during the pandemic. They're in Daly's place next week, where Andrew Zarian swears up and down for the Wrestling Observer. He swears up and down that Mercedes Moné is going to debut in a 2,300-seat arena in front of that
Well,
crowd.
I also saw that they just announced Sting's last match for Collision would be in Charlotte. Or Sting's last Charlotte match for Collision would be in Charlotte. His last
That's a good-
Charlotte match
Yeah.
date. And I can't see where this is going to be at yet. I can't find
Nope.
out where it's going to be.
Well, the pay-per-view where he's going to be retiring as last match, I think they sold 11,000 tickets.
Well, no, I mean, they're selling
Hell
out
of a turnout
Greensboro.
for that.
It's Greensboro. Yes, that is a lot of
Hell
turnout.
of a turnout for that. Yeah, yeah.
But I've
Well,
seen
that's
where
smart.
I've seen some shows that were just still running those big arenas, dude. It's not just one off. They're still running those big arenas. And I don't get it. Look, when people put these
How
pictures,
far in advance? Hang on a second. How far in advance do they have to book one of those arenas?
no, they have
3
to
months?
book an arena with a pay-per-view. No, yeah,
No,
I think
I'm
it's
talking
something
about-
like that. No, yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah, 3 months.
It's not
yeah,
like they
in
can do it
advance.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Right.
Here we go. They booked it for Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, I mean, it's his last match there. It's a big city. I hope they do well. But here's my point in this, okay?
And they
It
probably have good
looks-
chicken there, too.
That's true. It's bad for the optics, unlike Zaxby's. It's bad for the optics, right? I got you. It's bad for the optics when you see all of these pictures of people not being in the building. It looks like the minor leagues when you have this shit going on. And by the way, the crowd, you can tell the crowd's not there. Because if 1,000 people to 3,000, seat and 3,000 people in attendance just stop clapping, that's huge. That's a third of your audience if they're sitting on their hands. Not everybody goes to a wrestling show and is like, I can't fucking wait. A lot of people are like, oh, what's happening? This is my first time here. These people are kind of strange. Is that guy picking his nose?
The neckbeards on Twitter, I like it when they react to the live crowds on Collision and Dynamite and all that. I tell you, the crowd was dead tonight. The crowd was dead. Hello? You only had 1,500 people there. No wonder the crowd was dead. You couldn't hear them.
So I'd like to know, are we alone here in that it feels like they are really struck? Here's the other thing. They just had their biggest pay-per-view of the year. Like, it was huge. And I know people are going to be like, oh, but Wembley was a spectacle. This was their biggest pay-per-view because the title changed hands. And you couldn't draw shit on your TV. Your first show, you barely drew 800,000. And if the Big Bang didn't kick you off with 1 million, you would have been down in the sevens quickly. It's not going well. And you can tell me, I don't get it. The guy that argued with me today, well, they've got great storylines. That shit with Eddie Kingston was great.
They have no storylines. They have no storylines. They've got the Devil. That was it. The Devil was the only storyline they had.
Well, it was all wrapped in one big storyline. The Devil was fighting MJF, who was sabotaging MJF, who was fighting Samoa Joe. It was all the same thing. And now, Wednesday night, we got Samoa Joe for 2 minutes and a pee break, and I got to go. So,
at the beginning of the show.
Yes.
They wasted him at the beginning of the show. I still say, I'll stand by what I said today on Twitter. Next week's Dynamite main event should be Orange Cassidy versus Sheldon Cooper.
Jesus Christ almighty.
He's the biggest draw they have, Sheldon Cooper.
You want to know what the other issue that's happening right now with AEW is? It's honestly one of the issues they have is their fan base that cannot acknowledge that there's a problem right now.
They cannot acknowledge it. It's not the entire fan base. Okay? It's the young kids who cannot acknowledge the fact that they have a problem. The people who've been watching wrestling for years and years and years.
It's just not, though, because I'm seeing these guys and they're not kids. They're grown men our age. Like,
if you're talking about that schmuck you were arguing with earlier today.
Which one?
What's his name?
Douche Canoe, I think.
The African American gentleman who has his own podcast that he does on YouTube.
I have no idea. I honestly don't know, dude. There was like 15 people today trying to tell me how wrong I was. And this is the other thing. They can't acknowledge the issues that are in the company, and they're still blaming CM Punk, and he's not there anymore. They're still blaming CM Punk for their problems. This is what the guy told me. And I quote, have you noticed that since CM Punk is gone, there's no longer any leaks inside? There's no more turmoil? Because no one's watching, bro. No one's watching. There's no more turmoil because you idiots ran off the biggest star your company had. That was the guy. That was the guy. They were sabotaging him backstage. He finally spoke out about it. Everybody lost their shit. And this is what he told me. Well, CM Punk was actually the guy leaking the information to Meltzer, not the Young Bucks.
Of course not.
You mean the guys that made their goddamn move, the Meltzer driver, you think they weren't leaking to him? Are you high? Are you sniffing glue currently? Just saying.
There is no drama, just no one cares now. You're right, people don't care anymore. People don't care. MJF's gone. Punk's gone. If you were a fan of the feminine form, Jade Cargill's gone. She's been gone. She was nice to look at. She couldn't wrestle a lick, but she was great to look at. Great
point, Sega Genesis, because the minute Jericho got the accusations, everybody went radio silent.
Yes. Everything's silent now. No one's leaking anything. I'm sure Tony Khan fires off emails to Sapp and Meltzer about what talking points he wants out there on the internet. And there's quite a few they put out.
And they're all diverting from everything. Everything.
Yes.
What the hell are you drinking with ice in it? Or is that head? Is that a foamy head?
Well, if you must know, I bought a case of I bought a 15-pack of 16-ounce beers. I could only get a certain amount in the refrigerator. I forgot to put the rest of them in the refrigerator when I had room. Now they're all warm. So I had to go and put ice in my big mug, as you can see, and chill down my beer.
All right, just checking, making sure you're staying on the straight and narrow. When I see ice and beer, I get concerned that maybe the neckbeards have finally gotten to you and you're doing some bad booking decisions. Bad booking decisions.
I'll go right back to the vodka and water when we get off the air.
All right. Well, I don't know why.
And the left-handed cigarettes.
So those are some of the issues that I see that are predominating this company that's bringing down a lot. And, of course, we haven't touched on it, but let's go ahead. The bad booking.
Terrible booking.
The bad booking.
The thing that drives professional wrestling, you've got two men that have an issue with one another that's built up over time. And people want to see.
And it's usually about what? It's usually about one of three things, right?
Yes. It's about a belt. It's about being beaten up.
A woman.
Or a woman.
Getting revenge or a woman. Like, that's it.
Getting
like,
revenge
you got the spot.
Exactly.
I beat you, Johnny, because I was tired of the way you were looking at me when I came out of the bar that night, and I got beat up by three guys, and you didn't help me out.
Stop. You got to say that whole thing again, just like Terry Funk.
Your mother's a whore.
Well, that would start a fight. But
that's it.
Even in WWE, people say, well, the storylines are bad in WWE. What? Gunther's great. Even Alpha Academy's got a storyline that makes you want to watch it. Yeah, Greg, too many botched moves. It's too many botched moves. It's horrendous. Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander.
What I'm telling you.
I can't believe a week ago I picked those two yentas.
I tried to tell you.
If when the place closes up, have WWE take a look at them and hire them.
I can't
those
wait
two
in
yentas.
June.
They could get out of their own ways. They could what in June for what?
In June. Oh yeah. Hey Greg, thanks for joining, buddy.
What's up, Greg? What's happening?
I mean, I'm excited.
Willow Statler. Dude, Sega, you're exactly right. Good Lord Almighty. Thanks, Greg.
I'm glad. Appreciate everybody that's joining. Really. Like and subscribe. I'm pimping that. Like and subscribe to my little podcast with Johnny Bottles.
We're the little podcast that could. We've got 39 people watching, and we've been doing this since what?
Not bad.
June?
Yeah. So tell me what else you see that's wrong with this AEW. Why it's falling off the proverbial cliff. I've said a lot of things that I got an issue with. I'm not sure if I've covered everything you've got an issue with.
This company is run like a small child playing with a big box of action figures. When you were a kid and you had action figures, Don, toy soldiers, didn't you keep them all in a box and you pull them out and you play with them? When you get tired of playing with certain ones, you throw them back in a box and pull new ones out. That's what's taking place. There's no continuity. None of that's happening. When QT Marshall finally leaves, it's really going to turn to shit. Statler beat Jade after holding the TBS title for 3 years and loses in less than 3 months to Julia Hart. You're right.
I mean, how is that not a major story? they just did it.
Indie wrestlers without a training ground. And the neckbeards, AEW fans, the young fans shit on NXT. But NXT, it's not just about moves. They teach you the moves. If you're an indie wrestler that joins NXT, they tell you the cameraman's going to be in this position over here. Shooting from the ground up. The hard cam is right there.
Exactly.
Always react to the hard cam. The red light will be on. React to the hard cam. If the corner cameraman on the floor is looking at you and his red light's on, you sell to that camera there. Don't do any off the top rope moves that you have planned unless you know you're on camera.
Don't do shit you don't know how to do.
Right. You're exactly
Mike in New York for Life says, what would bad Vince do instead of what Tony is doing if he was running it? I know what he would do. He'd get a bunch of legal interns and get a lawsuit.
I see people who are used to going 100 miles an hour having to go more often. Also, too many people pushed as winners so no one gets over. Yeah, that's a hell.
I mean, I'm glad you guys are chiming in. Look, here's the thing, right? Everybody thinks Johnny and I
hang on a second. These
all
guys
right, Johnny,
who are chiming in right now They watch AEW. They like
Yes.
AEW. But now everybody's, it's constructive criticism. Well, you guys can't say that. Look at, but WWE, but Dana Brooke, but Liv Morgan, they can't wrestle. Dude, we want both companies to do well. We want all companies to do well.
I want the company to give me what they
goes,
promise.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
And you said something just now that I want you to know about Liv Morgan. Most serious charges against her have been dropped. So she might be back, she might be back out of that legal hurdle, which will make Jimmy C81 the happiest man on the internet today. Jimmy, I hope you see the show. You will be a happy man. He's out.
He's probably watching right now.
Well, I doubt that. I mean, SmackDown.
Well, I never told the story of Liv Morgan and that back road in Florida.
Stop it. Stop. You are not pulling a Chris Jericho.
No, I live in Florida.
I know you do.
And I live 3 miles away from where she got pulled over.
Oh, okay. That's what you're saying. Okay.
It's a 1 lane out and 1 lane in. It's all farmland. And she didn't get charged with driving while impaired, even though she was crossing over the center line. That road is hardly ever used. And I've gone up and down that road before. That's a shortcut basically to get to Florida's Turnpike off of 301. So she was on that road and doing her thing, and probably not paying attention, maybe texting or reaching for the vape pen or what have you. And she got pulled over. And someone told me today, I guess this guy's a real close personal friend of Liv Morgan's, because he said she's a terrible driver. I don't know. You don't ever know who you're really talking to. You don't know who the hell you're talking to. You never know who you're talking to. Sunbeam 1, 2, 3, 4 could be a real close friend of Liv Morgan.
I put the bitch in the ditch and the cop pulled up behind me.
Right. I had the shovel in the quick line, man. I was going to bury her ass, and the cop pulled up. The biggest charge was
she's
synthetic.
5'4" in that big ass Jeep. Like, what are you doing?
Right. She probably can't see over the steering wheel, like all the little old ladies down here by the villages in Florida. But you can buy synthetic weed at any gas station around here. It's against the law to sell it. It's against the law to have it. But the gas stations get by with it. It's printed on the back of the pack, not for human consumption.
Okay, I'll give it to my dog.
So they're allowed to sell it. So she beat that charge. That was the most serious charge. She could have done jail time for that.
Humble 85.
But everybody, hang on a second. Everybody,
all right, calm down.
I got a medical weed card, dude, and I'm in and out of that dispensary. I'll tell you about it. Maybe once every 10 days, I'm buying weed. I'm buying gummies. I do all that shit. Bongs, do it all. No dabs, but I do the bongs.
Humble 85.
I can't tell you how many times I've been in a dispensary and an 80-year-old woman comes in with a walker and her husband's got a cane, and they walk up to the counter at the dispensary. You got any of that green dragon fire kush? No, ma'am. We're all out of that flower right now. I'll be in on Wednesday. That's when we get our truck. Oh, Christ. They didn't have it the other day. Come on, Earl. Let's go down the street. And they go to another dispensary. I've got 8 dispensaries within 2 miles of my house, either way, in either direction. That's how prevalent it is.
I know it's there.
Old retirees down here. They are all fucked up down here. They are all stoned out of their minds. And I ain't lying when I say this. They are stoned out of their minds.
Okay,
driving.
well, let me ask you this.
25 miles an hour to 50 going through.
What color do you got on your antenna going down the road? What flag are you flying?
I've got a
If you don't know about the flags or whatever they fly on the antennas, look it up, folks. Humble 85 wants to say when AEW and WWE are doing well, it secures jobs. I'm not going to lie when I say this. I don't care. Some of these people don't need to be employed. That's just the bottom line. There's just not enough good wrestlers in AEW, or they're not showing the good wrestlers enough, and that's my issue. They're putting out the people that are the favorites of the EVPs, which is the other problem. Can anyone say right now definitively the Young Bucks matter as much as they do today as they did 4 years ago to that crowd? I was never a fan, but even I could hear the fans were cheering them. It's like, all right, they got a crowd. They don't have that crowd now.
No. They're getting blowback now, big time, the Young Bucks are, because it's the same old shit. It's the same old bullshit, and a lot of the smarter fans realize that they drove CM Punk out of that company.
And here's my other issue, right?
Well, going back to the employees, going back to having people
that's what I'm going to go back to. That's what I'm
if,
going back to.
If I never see Fat Daddy Magic or your Cool Hand Ang, as you call him, or Trent Beretta or Rocky Romero or El Hijo the Vikingo Green Giant-O, whatever his name is,
Flippo out the ringo and break your necko
on my TV again. If I never see them on my TV again, I would not give a shit. If I never see Nick Wayne again,
and he counted on this, I want to say something. Nick Wayne might be a really good wrestler in the future. He's not a good wrestler right now. He's going way too fast. He can do the moves, but he's not a good professional wrestler. He doesn't tell the story. He doesn't tell the story. And that's what wrestling is. I don't understand how people don't get this by now. 90% of what's going on in there is telling the story in the ring. It's telling the battle that you're supposed to be having. It's not, he did the whole plancha sauce act through the table. He may never wrestle again. Oh, he's up. Never mind. Because then you get shit like we saw on TV when you get the Scorpion Death Flop. Don't do shit you don't know how to do.
I can't believe that Adam Copeland tried to drop him through a flaming table. And all he did was crack that kid's coccyx. When he dropped them down, and the table just fell over. The kid hit the edge of the table. And I blame the kid for setting the table up because he had it too close to the ring. Copeland should have known that, but
he should have, yes.
It is what it is. It is what it is. If I never see Nick Wayne again or his mother, his skillet,
his mother,
his frying pan faced mother,
John knows.
It would not break my heart at all.
And that you just hit it again. Why do they put people like this on TV? Why do they put people like that on TV when you have so many wrestlers backstage that deserve it? Why is she here talking on a microphone?
Tony Khan thinks it's funny. That's why. Part of that angle where Christian always talks about people's mothers and wanting to bang their mothers. I saw your mother's Instagram account. She's looking pretty good in that swimsuit. That's what he told Nick Wayne when they were feuding. And
so he took Chris Jericho's gimmick.
Yes.
Bazinga!
Don't say that. He's coming in to face Orange Cassidy.
God, I hope so. And I have covered.
Dude, I would watch that. That's the only Orange Cassidy match I would look forward to. If Sheldon Cooper, the actor that played Sheldon Cooper, was billed as Sheldon Cooper and came in and fought Orange Cassidy in the opening match on AEW Dynamite, that would be epic for me. I'd have 3 joints in my mouth and doing shots of tequila in the corner and sipping beer through a straw at the same time. Just while I'm watching that shit, I would love it. I would die a happy man if I had a massive coronary when that was on. I'd laugh my ass off. But go ahead.
Those are the issues that I have with it off the top of my head in a 43-minute segment we've had on this show. That's just me personally. Oh, wait, I forgot. How could we miss this one? Get a goddamn professional wrestling broadcast team, for God's sakes, not a goof in a mask, and old-ass Tony Schiavone. I can take Taz. I can take him. He's good. But that is the worst shit ever. If I'm wrong, someone tell me.
The Dynamite announce team should be Kevin Kelly and Taz. The Collision announce team should be Ian Riccaboni, and maybe, if you have to use the man, if you got to use him, Don, Chris Jericho. Keep him out of the ring. He could be the Jerry Lawler of Collision. I know you don't like him. A lot of people falling out of favor.
Point of conjecture. They've tried it before, and he can't. He's got the Rowdy Piper issue, right? He can't stop talking about himself. That's where the issue comes in, is he's still a wrestler mentally. He can never stop getting himself over, not the guys in the ring. And when he first did it, it wasn't so bad because that's what he was doing. But then he inevitably reverted back to form and said, it's about me. It's about me. All about me. Oh, and somebody mentioned the match link. So that's another issue entirely, because that's what we talked about earlier. They do a million moves and they don't mean shit.
Right. Right. Do a million moves.
They ruined the Canadian Destroyer. Ruined it.
They ruined DDTs first, then the Canadian Destroyer. They ruined the super kicks for everybody. Remember when the super kick was a finishing move, Shawn Michaels?
It was great. Out of nowhere. Warming up the band. You knew it was coming. Time to sell this shit.
Catch a guy right on the button, no more than if you would have punched him and knocked him out. Catch a guy right on the button with the super kick, he's done. 1, 2, 3, pinned.
And now, like Mike said, you got a goddamn super kick party every time the Young
Super
Bucks
kick
get the ring.
parties. Yes. It's the worst. It's the worst. This whole thing is a vanity project for the Young Bucks and their friends. That's what it started out as. I'm exasperated.
Dude, I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight getting that off my chest. Just get hit with the GTS by CM Punk.
Jesus Christ almighty.
There was a little bit of, oh God, what are we doing now? No, there was some news. There was some news today to end the show on. So Charlotte Flair had her surgery. So I was glad to see that.
Who? Charlotte
Flair had her. Yeah, she had her surgery. She put out a tweet, said she's doing well. So, or not a tweet, but an Instagram. So she's that generation. She does Instagram.
Well, it was on Twitter too. It was posted on Twitter.
I didn't see
the
that.
body of it was. Yes, and she talked about how she loves working as a face. She actually enjoys walking down the aisle and slapping fives and hugging little kids and being cheered by the fans. She loves it. And when Twitter is informing me that Matt Hardy and Reby Hardy are having some issues. Well, Jeff Hardy is having issues with Reby Hardy because Jeff, in a video, I think it was with TMZ, they had Jeff accusing Reby Hardy of being a witch that has some kind of spell over Matt Hardy.
Oh my
if she had, she's got magical powers because his legs are on backwards, much like that of a dog. If you've ever watched him walk in the ring, his legs are on backwards like some kind of a Russian wolfhound. He looks horrible. And Matt, just fucking retire, will you please? It's over. The Hardy Boys are the Hardy Men. It's over.
And we spoke about this last night.
Count your fucking money and relax. Go ahead.
We talked about this last night. And he does walk like the robot on RoboCop. I agree.
With his legs on backwards.
With the backwards. Yes.
Yes. The Ed 209.
Yes. MJF, if he has this surgery on his shoulder we were talking about last night, they're saying it will be a year now he's out.
Well, he's trying to rehab it. Try to rehab.
Dude, just have the surgery. Just have the surgery.
Dude, he did not.
Don't take the shortcut, kid.
Who's reporting this? Meltzer.
No, actually, Wrestling News and PWI. I'm just saying.
PWI, you can believe.
Ruby Soho.
Oh. Have you noticed Ruby Soho's new nose?
Yeah, because she broke it that time. It looks great.
She broke it once before when she wrestled Tay Conti.
Yes,
and then they had
fix it this time.
It was a legit break. But
yes.
This time, the second go round, she had plastic surgery. It wasn't a break.
And it looks great.
It looks great. They trimmed a little off the top.
Great schnoz.
She got a front end alignment. Looks fantastic.
I thought so as well. Looks like a different
she used to look like
girl.
For the longest time, she looked like one of the kids on Bob's Burgers. But now
Snuffleupagus.
Yes, and now she looks okay. She's actually the guy that she's doing the angle with, the high school sweetheart angle with on AEW television, if you can remember it, because it comes and goes. Cool Hand Ange, or Ang as you'd like to refer to him. That's her real-life boyfriend, by the way. So true love is running rampant throughout the halls of AEW. Just ask Chris Jericho.
I'm not touching this! Not touching. Now the 10-foot pole and you push it.
I'm going to show you a little info here, a little something, and let me hit my 15 buttons to share my screen.
Why do you have so many buttons?
That's what you got to do with StreamYard, pal, to get this fucking thing going. Here you have. Right. Here you have in the Heart Dungeon. You're looking at Ricky Starks.
I thought he was still with AEW, man.
Imagine that. That contract's going to run out soon, pal. And he's also half the World Tag Team Champs.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
He's wrestling Angelo Dawkins from the WWE in an Italian Neidhart ring up in Canada at the Heart Dungeon. He's working out with half of the Street Profits. Let's go back. Here is B-Fab. She's got red hair now. B-Fab from Hit Row, who they retained for some ungodly reason. I don't know why in WWE. They fired Top Dollar. He's now Family Dollar. And B-Fab they kept. Maybe she knows something. I don't know.
Well, as long as she doesn't dive over the top ropes and damn near kill herself.
They're actually training her how to wrestle, which I don't think has ever been done.
That's what you do.
Yes. And here is Jade Cargill in action.
Yeah, we saw
some
flips of that. We saw some flips of that.
Yes.
And here's my thing, right? All the AEW neckbeards are screaming, you haven't seen her, have you? She's not doing too well. This is what you do, kids. This is what you do when you have a star that's not ready. You let them work. You get them together to work. You debut a few times, get the crowd's appetite a little bit wet, make sure they know she's still backstage. So I'm looking forward to it. Hot damn.
A lot of people wonder why Cody Rhodes is the face of the company, the WWE. A lot of people can't wrap their heads around that. Why him? He's bland. He's vanilla. He's only the face of the company because he's related to Dusty Rhodes. Stupid arguments like that you may see online. There's an elementary school program for underprivileged kids called the Wrestling Club. Kids can actually, if they're wrestling fans, stay after school, do their homework, wait for their parents or their rides to come and pick them up, and they watch wrestling. And the teacher, the guy who runs the program,
just question. This is an underprivileged area, right? Like it's not a lot of rich kids.
Not a lot of rich kids.
That's what
it's sort of taught. He instructs them in the art of wrestling and good guys and bad guys. And they watch old matches, too. They don't just watch new stuff.
God damn, Osborne.
What? I'm not touching. That ain't what he said. What did he say?
He was talking about when you started talking about Jericho, and that's what I said. He said, that ain't what Jericho said. Oh, that's good.
Let's have a nice, wholesome story for a second.
Okay? Take a look at the screen.
That's a whole class full of kids in the wrestling club that have hotel accommodations and tickets for WrestleMania weekend, both nights. And they were gifted. Oh my God, look at the beer man.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Good God.
Dude,
I think I went blind hysterically. Also.
You're gonna have to hit Gordon Soley here in a minute. It's getting out of hand.
I felt myself turning to stone. Jesus, God Almighty! The wrestling club's reaction when they learned that some of them will be going to WrestleMania 40 because of Cody Rhodes. Their joy is absolutely incredible. They're so happy for each other, and that speaks directly to the community that is the wrestling club. Cody Rhodes responds, "I love it. I can't wait to meet you all. Now let's go finish the story." Good guy, Cody Rhodes.
I mean, I have no idea why he's the biggest baby face in the company. I have no idea. Bottles, I think I have covered all that I had today.
I've got a little excerpt right now from the Wrestling Observer, Figure 4 Online. This is right from the mouth of Dave Meltzer. This is in his newsletter.
Kill me. This is going to kill me, isn't it?
The other rumor was that Mercedes Moné would be starting with AEW shortly. The only thing we heard is that she was in talks with WWE and they were far apart on money. Some in WWE speculated that this could be a Punk situation where everyone denies it to lead to a Rumble surprise. Moné was talked about by others in WWE as Khan's counterpunch for losing Andrade.
You got to shit me, dude.
Khan did say he would be very active in the free agent market in 2024. Right now, I wouldn't take anything regarding her as a definitive until she signs a deal. WWE and AEW have clearly both been talking with her. Obviously, this is going on with AEW for months, if not a year. She's never signed yet. There was a lot of talk within wrestling of her on this week's Dynamite, which she wasn't on. My gut is that if she is to debut, while they may not mention her name, and probably wouldn't, but they would hit of a major debut or make a special announcement that something big will be on the show ahead of time. We do know that the expectation is she will be in AEW fairly soon, but until a contract signing is confirmed, anything can happen. No fucking shit, Dave. And I'm going to break the story. I'm breaking the story right now. I'm breaking the story just like they break stories.
Phone.
Hulk Hogan is coming back, folks.
Yes, I know he is.
I'm letting you know right now. Hulk Hogan wants one last match. He wants a retirement match.
No.
And he's been talking to my spies in the WWE. Tells me he's been talking to people backstage at WWE. He's also been talking to TNA and AEW about having a retirement match.
Did you see he is coming back?
Anybody can say whatever they want on the internet.
Did you see he is coming back, though?
What?
Yeah, they're celebrating like the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania.
Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
No, they really are. Eben says Cody can't buy being over. No, he can't, but here's what he did. Every parent that saw that clip is going to say, I might take my kid to an event and see if he likes wrestling.
Right.
Because that guy seems like somebody they should look up to. Don't look over good publicity, because John Cena was booed forever by the fans, but was adored by parents.
Every day of the week he did a make-a-wish.
Every day.
Every day he did a make-a-wish for some sick kid or underprivileged child. So, and that's no bullshit. He was the biggest celebrity, the most, I don't want to say prevalent, the most prolific celebrity that Make-A-Wish has ever seen. He even got an award for it. Lloyd says, funny part is, with all speculation on her debuting the show, still had her ratings fall. Well, when you see on a Monday, Tony Khan has a big announcement for Wednesday, you know that's what it's going to be.
Haven't seen that in a while. I think he learned his lesson. Oh, and one more thing before we go, because it's about time to get the hell out of here. Triple H, don't ever pull that shit again. That was awful last night. You pulled the old bait and switch. That was the worst shit ever. And here's what I read today. Well, they were going to announce where the damn Money in the Bank was going to be, but something happened. I don't ever want to see that again, dude. That was awful. that was absolutely, AA baseball. It was Bush League.
And I was wrong. I said it was going to be a TNA. I thought for sure they were going to announce a working relationship with TNA. And that's how much I freaking knew.
They announced the freaking entrance of the Rumble. So that was terrible. Triple H, you got a negative mark there, buddy. For everything you've done well lately, that sucked balls. That was donkey sweat.
And in the ads, he was supposed to be on the show.
Yes.
Making the announcement. He was not on the show.
And then did nothing. So, yeah. Bad kudos to you, WWE, for that horse shit.
Well, what they're doing is they're manipulating the media, just like Dave Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp. They're learning it in their own way.
Don't stoop to that shit.
Just like Meltzer has no ties and he's got no connections in WWE anymore. He used to. He used to have Jericho. He used to have Lance Storm. He used to have Ric Flair. Those guys have aged out. They're not even there. Donkey lips. Not even there. And it's a big time shitty move. What the hell is going on in that chat? But anyway. Jesus God almighty. Cats and dogs living together. But
total anarchy.
Total anarchy.
Oh, Johnny, I enjoyed the show.
But I'm just saying that Meltzer's got no sources anymore, and Sapp supposedly knows some guy in production, and that's how he gets all his scoops. Supposedly, anybody can make up whatever they want to make up, and subject to change. Remember, folks, cards subject to change. Meltzer will say, just proud as can be, and with no shame, well, yeah, they were far apart on money, and that's what happened. That's decided to go to WWE. I'm gonna just put it to rest right now. Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, whatever you want to call her, Mercedes Bernardo, loves to wrestle in the Japanese style. You got 3 Japanese women that just came as a faction in WWE. And she probably can't wait to wrestle all of them. You've got Julia coming in, an Italian-Japanese girl who we just saw a video of her before we went on the air. She's coming to NXT in March when her contract's up.
Like and subscribe.
Stardom. Anything else? Anything else you want to say?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, and by the way, if we sold,
yes, show the shirt, dude. I love the shirt. I gotta get one.
If we sold these shirts, would people be interested in purchasing these?
I'm gonna get one because I love the way that looks. I love the way that looks. I'm going to get that. Thank you everybody for joining. Yeah, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get you to send me how you did it. I'm gonna order it because I'm getting that shit. I've got the old one with my old catchphrase, "Suck my ass." It's SmackDown time, Bottles. What does Gordon Soley have to say about SmackDown?
Next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.